We've been telling you about the arraignment today, and where a suspected murderer will be in court. And it's raised a lot of questions about federal and local officials and policies and immigration, specifically deportation, after that murder last week of Catherine Steinle, allegedly by this illegal immigrant who had 7 arrests and also, in addition to the record, had been deported 5 times. Leslie Marshall is a syndicated radio talk show host and a Fox News contributor. David Webb, host of the David Webb Show on Sirius XM's Patriot Channel, columnist as well for The Hill and a Fox News contributor. And I imagine this has been the subject of both your radio shows. Leslie, first of all, what are you hearing? And why are we just hearing about this guy now? Why does it take a murder?
I think it's a good... I don't know why it takes a murder. The laws are already there on the books, and I think the frustration really doesn't, it transcends political lines and ideology. I think, at least what I'm hearing from my listeners, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, is that they don't feel that local law enforcement and federal law enforcement work together. 1. 2, they don't think there's enough funding which can aid to the speed in which these deportations can be granted, and of course that warrants and orders need to be executed.
But it was granted, Leslie. He was sent home 5 times, and he came back specifically because he knew that he was going to a sanctuary city. Is that the problem, sanctuary cities? Leslie, and then David.
I think each city needs to look at its own issues. In San Francisco, this is an issue. But one of the reasons I think that San Francisco and other cities don't look at sanctuary status as being a problem is that the overwhelming number of crimes that are committed in these cities and throughout the United States are not committed by illegal immigrants. In San Francisco, there were 4 murders around this murder by legal immigrants, by American citizens, quite frankly.
Okay,
yes, this gets the play, especially on the heels of what Donald Trump said. But this does not mean that sanctuary status will go away.
We're going to get to that. We'll definitely, David. I mean,
first of all, Leslie conflates 2 issues. We're not talking about murders committed by criminals in this country. We are now talking about a criminal illegal alien. So the sanctuary cities, of which there's over 140 in the country, and some 300 cities that don't honor detainer or detainer requests, it's transmitted by electronic means. They get them. They choose by policy, these mayoral agencies, not to honor this. The initial problem is we don't have a border that is secure.
So wait, let me ask you this, David. Specific to the communities, they're pick and choosing who they're sending home. This guy was able to come back specifically. He says, because he knew it was a sanctuary city. What is the upside for a state to have sanctuary cities? What is the upside, David? Are these people who are adding to the tax base?
They have no upside to this because they're actually an economic burden. When you break down the numbers of the cost of illegals, the cost of entitlements, the cost of things that they get because they shouldn't at taxpayer expense in the form of benefits or even medical treatment. We tend to get into this debate over sanctuary cities when we need to look at the bigger picture of what we're not doing with immigration, what we have not done for some 3+ decades.
The wall. Donald Trump says Mexico will build it for us, Leslie.
Really? And is Mexico going to pay to build it, or is Donald going to just do that off of his own checking account? The reality is, the higher it is, the wider it is, the deeper it is, they'll go around it, they'll get a bigger ladder. We've heard all of the cliches.
Let me ask both of you, David. Let me ask both of you, because Donald Trump actually came out. This is what he said. Let me just read one quote, get a quick reaction from both of you. The Mexican government is forcing their most unwanted people into the United States. Well, that's a very general statement, I assume, but there are in many cases, and he does say in many cases, criminals, drug dealers, rapists, etc. This is merely one of thousands of similar incidents throughout the United States. Does he have his facts right, David?
Yes, he does. He does in this respect. The argument over people who just want to work and support their families, that actually benefits Mexico because billions of dollars a year go back to Mexico. Some estimates between 11 and 15 billion dollars go back from those that work here and send it back. Mexico can't support their population. We have basically illegal cartel-run cities like Juarez. We have a country that is broken economically and broken in many ways from a government that is crooked, that is corrupt.
Okay,
and they send the problems here, but then we pay for the problems, and we send economic we send economic benefit back to Mexico, so it benefits them to export their illegal alien
David,
problem here.
It may be happening. This guy may be one of those people. We will find out as they're in court. Leslie, before I go real quick, the Trump comment about Mexico coming up to the plate, any chance?
Yeah,
that
look,
says it all.
I have to just say, you have to have the facts. The facts are the majority of crimes in this country are committed by white American males, whether we like it or not.
Leslie,
Okay,
stop
guys,
deflecting.
it is not factual that Mexico sends these people here.
I'm going to get arrested, or at least the hook, if I don't leave it there. I'm going to tune into both your shows because I know that's going to be a big topic today, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
American lives matter.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.